Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday and happy March 1st. I hope you all had a wonderful February. And now we welcome March. My name is Christina Aroca, and I'm your music director. For those who are new here, welcome. Now, for our gathering hymn, we'll be singing hymn number 360, Here We Have Gathered. You may rise in my body or spirit and join us in singing.
Good morning. Bienvenidos. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation in Fullerton, California. I'm Reverend Robert Blair. My pronouns are he, him. Whoever you are, whoever you love, and wherever you are on your faith journey, we want you to know you belong here. Whether this is your first Sunday or your 100th, we are truly glad that you are here. As a welcoming Unitarian Universalist community, we practice courageous welcome. We celebrate every race, culture, ability, sexual orientation, and gender identity. And we affirm especially our transgender siblings. Here, you don't have to check your questions at the door. You are free to believe, to doubt, to seek, and to grow, and we trust that each of us carries a piece of truth, and that together we create a community rooted in love, justice, and belonging. A couple of announcements for you this morning. Thank you to everyone who helped with and attended the Loving Our Immigrant Neighbors event. We raised a total of $1,258 for Camino Immigration Services. If you would like, you can find all that information and the actual event on YouTube. So look for it at UUCF. Next Sunday is our new to UUCF lunch. If you want to learn more about our faith and this congregation, you can sign up on our website. All you have to do is go to uufullerton.org put in /new right next to it, and all the information is there. It's a new month. Can you believe it's March 1st? And that means more groceries and household items are needed for our adopted family. You can shop, deliver, or donate and sign up at the welcome table. We need to know your opinion on our annual family retreat at Camp Divinaville Pines. What should it look like? Should we change it up? We've got a survey for you. Please fill it out by March 16th. There's a link in the newsletter. Would you be interested in being part of the planning committee? If you are, we need you. There is a Zoom meeting this Thursday at 7 p.m., and you can speak to Dale Botts about that. Save the date to welcome spring and celebrate Nowruz, the Persian New Year, at noon on Saturday, March 21st. More details on that to come. And you've said you wanted an auction. And so we are listening. Mary Botts wants to tell you about an upcoming mini online service auction, Baby Steps, that starts this Wednesday.
Good morning. Good morning. All right. So, you're going to have to give me a little grace on this because I'm working with software I've never used before. Anybody have that problem ever? This is, I've gotten a few auction items. We have about a dozen different things. This is going to be a mini service auction. You'll see that in the announcements. Mini means mini. And it's all going to be online. And the reason that is we didn't really have time to set up a live auction yet, and we don't know where we're doing it and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to do this all online as a trial and a test to make sure this software works really great for us. I think it will be. I've gotten a catalog put together, and I will be sending that out probably Monday or Tuesday. And the bidding, you'll be able to sign on to the website for the bidding. And once you get the email, it'll give you a link that you click on, and you'll go on to there. And then the bidding, you can't see anything on that website until Wednesday at midnight. So if you really want to stay up late and be there Tuesday into Wednesday and be the first one to put a bid in, you are allowed to do that. There's only going to be bidding on items where you can increase the bid. There are 6 already events, and those will be a fixed price, just like we used to do the buy now. So when you sign up for it, you've won it, okay? You've won your spot, okay? So that's what I can tell you about it. What do you think? Okay.
Okay, now 1 to 2 minutes to say hi to your neighbors.
Good morning. I'm Megan, your song leader today. And being as it's a new month, it's March 1st, we have a new hymn of the month. And this is a particularly beautiful hymn that I found in our hymnal. It's a little tricky rhythmically, but we'll get through it. Prolific composer and guitarist Jim Scott brings warmth and humor in his jazz and world music influenced songs, as well as outspoken messages of peace, justice, and the earth. He's played at more than 700 UU churches over 4 decades of travels, and his songs are in the UU hymn books. This one comes from the turquoise one. This eco anthem works well for group singing or a solo voice. The traditional hymn style melody was also intended to have a more contemporary feel, not too somber, with steady folk rock rhythm. The rich, evocative lyrics of this hymn speak to our values of interdependence, pluralism, generosity, transformation, and love, encouraging us to, as described in the former Article 2 for Source, direct experience of that transcending mystery and wonder, affirmed in all cultures, which moves us to a renewal of the spirit and an openness of forces which create and uphold life. Let's join together now in singing the oneness of everything.
You may rise in mind, body, or spirit, and join us in singing.
You may rise in mind, body, or spirit, and join us. It is number 1052 in the turquoise hymnal. Far beyond the grasp of hands, or light to meet the eye, as the riches of the mind, there find the key to nature's harmony in an architecture so entwined. Like the birds whose patterns grace the sky and carry all who join in love expounding, the message of peace will rise in flight, taking the weight of the world upon its wings, in the oneness of everything. Let's please go to verse 3. We're going to skip verse 2. Still we seek to find truth that we might understand and reduce to terms defined. Vast and immeasurable time and space, also overwhelmingly designed. Oh, passing years just might I know the faith that winters in the heart, to be reborn in spring, to hear and to feel the pulse of life enters my soul as a song to sing of the oneness of everything.
It has a beautiful, beautiful song. Very quickly, our caring listener this week is Debbie Langenbacher. You can speak with Debbie if you have anything that you'd like to talk about and have someone listen to you and trust that it is confidential. Also, we'll be sharing our joys and sorrows and concerns coming up in just a few minutes. The pink pieces of paper are in the back. I have an especially deep voice today because I interact with a bunch of teenagers during the week and don't want to get anybody sick, so that's why I'm wearing a mask today. 90 teenagers. It's bound to happen. I now invite Mark Peru to light the chalice. Here within these walls, here in this community of love and justice, we pause in our busy lives to consider what is worthy of our deepest yearnings. In the time we are given here, may we pay attention to the wonder of each moment. May we grieve what is lost, and may we be grateful for our life on this beautiful earth. And may we prepare ourselves for the work love calls us to do. Just as we are, may we be that beloved community. Please join me in saying our unison affirmation. This flame affirms the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. Love is the doctrine we share. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need, thus do we covenant with one another.
It is our custom to provide donations of non-perishable food and personal care items for Pathways of Hope, a local food bank. Please check the dates on your items. We are unable to donate any items with expired dates. As the children come forward, they are asked to collect the donations placed at the end of the rows, and now the children are invited to come forward for the time for all ages.
Good morning, everyone. You guys want to come sit next to me? So, it's March 1st, which means we have a new theme. Rose, would you like to hold our sign? And Andrew, can you tell the lovely folks out here what our new theme is?
Paying attention.
I was not paying attention and not giving you the mic like you deserved, sorry. You know, grown-ups need the most lessons, don't we? So yes, our theme this month in our curriculum for Soul Matters is paying attention. And so if you can pay attention up here, it says that today is World Compliment Day. So we're gonna talk about compliments. Rose, what is a compliment?
I think a compliment is when someone says something nice about you.
Andrew, how do you feel when you get compliments?
Good.
I think that about sums it up. But, you know, we're going to have some props also to show us. Would you like to hold this beautiful heart? So, did you know that hearts are sticky?
No.
Well, they are. Do you know what sticks to them?
Love?
Yes, and love in the form of compliments, and how our words, when we have to pay attention to our words, because our words, or the words people tell us, can stick to our heart. So, when we get compliments like this one,
You make me feel safe.
it gives Our heart wings like a butterfly and makes them feel nice and light and happy. Or like this compliment.
Your hugs are the best.
It makes us feel so good. What is a compliment that you like giving or receiving?
We did this thing for Valentine's Day where everyone wrote something nice on a little paper heart. And one of my favorite ones was the guy said, "I find it cool how many bracelets you have."
I love it. I like bracelets too. Do you have a compliment you liked hearing, or do you like telling people?
Like, people at my school don't really.
Oh, people at your school don't really do that. Well, you know what? Then you can make that change. And I want to say that I like your smile and your sense of humor, and I always have fun hanging out with you. But the thing is not just good compliments stick to our hearts. There are other kinds of comments that stick to our hearts that are not so great, and they might feel like rocks and make our hearts feel heavy, like
Cool comment.
yeah, cruel comments, like, I'm pretty old, but I still remember like mean things from like first grade, and those make our hearts feel heavy and down. Or has anyone ever said something like this to you?
Rude words.
Yeah? I bet you remember some. Do you remember any rude words people told you?
I'm not going to say.
Exactly. We're not going to say. We're not going to repeat it. That's why I just put a generalized genre of type of words, because we don't need to repeat those. But they make our hearts feel heavy. But forget those. Today is World Compliment Day. So we're just going to spend time paying attention to the good things in our life that we can tell our friends, things that we remember that our loved ones told us, like, "I like your smile," or our last one, which is, "Oh no, it's okay, we'll find it. It's in there."
You're a good friend.
And I think you guys are good friends. So now we're gonna go be friends and continue complimenting each other all morning. And you guys can think about what nice, light, shiny butterfly words you can tell all your loved ones today. So have fun.
Learn to see the light within you as we send you on your way. Go with wisdom, go with wonder, go to create a brand new day. Learn to see the light within you as we send you on your way.
It is now time for our joys, our concerns, our sorrows, and friends and beloved community. This is a difficult time that we are in. There are many emotions, some who are joyful today, others who are troubled, and we can hold both together. That is what community is about. In this tender moment, we hold the people of Iran. We hold the people of the Middle East. We hold the people of Israel. We hold our troops in our hearts. We remember that no community is a headline. No people are a government. No child is an enemy. We grieve every life shaped by fear, every family listening for sirens, every parent praying their children will grow up without war. We reject anti-Iranian hatred. We reject anti-Semitism. We reject Islamophobia and vengeance in all its forms. We refuse the story that says compassion must choose a side. May wisdom rise in this time. May leaders remember that every act of violence lands on someone's beloved. And may we here and now be people of courage, choosing a real peace. Not one wrapped in a bow, not one on a tweet, but let us remember, blessed are the peacemakers, not just the peacekeepers. May we widen the circle and live in a future that we long for. Be compassionate to one another this week. Listen and be present with one another. We're never going to find the right words during this time, but we can be with each other and love each other through it. More joys and concerns. Barbara Story actually was going to have surgery on Thursday. You haven't noticed there's a little bug going around, and she has a bug too right now. So surgery has been put off, but she asked that you send your well wishes and good thoughts and love to her. Yvonne de la Torre of sorrow would like to give a prayer for Alejandro Campos Rios, the second angel anniversary coming up this March 6th, and our hearts are with you. Connor lifts up the people of Iran, for those in Fullerton who are dealing with violence. And he also lifts up Alejandro Campos Rios. It has been 1 year. And so we are with you, Connor, and with you, Yvonne, and with the entire community. A joy, last night we celebrated, this is from Natalie Cruz. We celebrated my daughter Rose as she received her Arrow of Light Award, the highest rank in Cub Scouts, and bridged over to a BSA troop. We are with all of those scouts right now who are dismayed by what's happening with our government. A joy from Chance. Christina Garner is leading a workshop this weekend on the two plays we did here. First, for the Reproductive Freedom Cabaret. Y'all remember that? The Pacific Central UU Women's Group will do a stage reading and maybe bring the idea back to their congregation. Chance, it's good to see you here. Welcome back. Mary Jane and Piper, good to see you as well.
And thank you to Ed. There are many, many people in this congregation who were part of that reproductive freedom performance. And thank you so much. And I'm overjoyed that they're having a life.
Well, we're glad to see you back here and overjoyed that you're back. Please give our best to Colleen as well. A joy from Evan Ferraro. A hope. My roommates and I toured a perfect house yesterday, and we're applying for it today, and Danielle will be coming with us. Wish us luck. And we do wish you luck. And now a message from Judy.
See the podium, everything is back together again. Yesterday, my daughter-in-law's son came up to say a few words, and everything sort of fell apart. So he broke the ice. It was something that no parent should ever have to go through, losing a child. It's been so difficult when my son passed away January 9th. But I have to tell you,
that this community, our community, is so incredible, so amazing. I have such gratitude for everyone. I mean, from the moment I walked in here yesterday, it was, oh, no, you don't know. We're going to take care of this. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And it was so wonderful. And I'm not going to thank anybody by name because I know that I would forget or, not intentionally. But I just want to thank you all so much for making this such a special day. Thank you. You are really my family. Thank you.
Judy also shares sorrow that there will be a celebration of life of former member Bill Reeves on Saturday, March 21st at Laguna Woods Village. There is a flyer out in the narthex if you would like more information, or you can talk to Judy as well. We now light one more candle. Oh, Mary. Pardon me? That's right. One more note of appreciation, actually, from Jennifer Myers. She sent this email to Mary. My joy this week is the loving support I've received from UUCF since my accident. You have brightened my days with your cards and emails, and you all deserve many hugs and thanks. Additionally, my PCP and my surgeon have said I'm recovering well. Also, the CT scan showed my brain is good despite the blow to the head, or at least it's no worse than it was before. Glad she is keeping a sense of humor about that, and of course we send our best to Jennifer as she continues to heal, and send our love and remind her that she has a community who loves her. And thank you for the reminder. We now light one more candle for the many, many joys and concerns and sorrows and frustrations that remain unexpressed but are still held close to our hearts. And now please join me in saying the words of affirmation on your screen. We join you in celebrating your joys. May you feel our love and compassion for your sorrows and concerns, for all that is spoken and unspoken. May the caring of our beloved community sustain us all.
Our next hymn is hymn number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. Most of you are familiar with this. If you're not, it's very easy. It's a round. We'll be singing it through one time, and then I will take this side, and Mark will take that side, and we'll do it as a round 3 times.
Do we want to stand?
If you want to.
In mind, body, or spirit?
Come.
Let us move into the spirit of meditation, reflection, and prayer. You may close your eyes, take a deep breath, whatever helps you find your center. Let us turn inward in the spirit of prayer and meditation. Sometimes the world outside us can be so loud, making it hard to hear those voices we once knew so well, voices that once knew us so well. And so, to silence we turn, to listen for the echoes of memories that make us holy, the pain of others that reawakens our hearts, and the beauty of this wildly generous world that wants us back. This is the attention that saves us, heals us, opens us, expands us. So friends, in the stillness of the space, let us not just listen for clarity and guidance, but to become larger. Those voices whispering from deep within are not just calling us home, they are home. We must remember this. What we give our attention to is what we become. In 1936, America was in the grip of the Great Depression. The Dust Bowl had displaced hundreds of thousands of farming families, forcing them into California as penniless refugees. They were branded Okies. a dehumanized nuisance to the establishment. John Steinbeck heard the whispers of injustice and decided he wouldn't just write about it, he would live it. He borrowed an old car, dressed in threadbare clothes, and used a fake name to disappear into the heart of the San Joaquin Valley. He didn't want to observe, he wanted to be observed. He wanted to see if America would treat him, the famous writer, the same way it treated its forgotten poor. It didn't. For weeks, Steinbeck slept in tents, ate scraps, and worked alongside the migrants. He watched men beg for jobs that paid 5 cents an hour and mothers struggle to feed their children. "You have no idea how terrifying hunger sounds when it cries," he wrote in his notebook. "It changes the shape of a man's face." He kept his identity secret. To his neighbors, he was just another drifter. But every night, by the light of a lantern, he scribbled furiously, capturing the dialogues, the resilience, and the deep, abiding rage of people who had lost everything but their humanity. Those secret notes became the grapes of wrath. When the book was released in 1939, it shocked the entire country. Growers burned it, churches banned it, and the FBI opened a file on him labeling his work communist propaganda. Yet the migrant workers wept when they read it, because for the first time, someone had written about them as human. The fame brought Pulitzer and Nobel Prizes, but also death threats and surveillance. When asked if he was afraid, Steinbeck's answer was telling. "No, I'm ashamed it took me this long to pay attention." Steinbeck didn't write to offer an escape. He wrote about the people who couldn't escape. He looked for the American dream in the dirt, and what he found was a raw mix of immense cruelty and unshakable courage.
Many historians say that history doesn't repeat itself, but it sure does rhyme. That was last week's sermon, a return to love. This week's sermon, we always return to love. You know, people ask me, if I knew before a nuclear war was going to happen, what would I preach? I'd preach love. It wasn't all love on January 6th, 2021. It's one of those days where we all remember where we were. And it was something that happened that should disturb the conscience of every spiritually serious person, whatever spiritually serious means. And we'll get to that. Crosses were lifted high above a violent crowd. Christian flags waved beside Confederate flags. Hymns were sung. Prayers were shouted. On January 6th, Christian nationalism was on full display, and faith and fascism intersected. It's not the first time that that's happened in many of our different religious philosophies. Police officers were beaten. Gallows were erected, and a democratic election was attacked. When I say Jesus was present that day, their Jesus, their white mascot of power, was present that day. Not as the teacher who said, "Blessed are the peacemakers," not as a protector of the least of these, not as the rabbi who stood between a mob and a condemned woman. He was carried like a battle standard. Hijacked him and continued to hold him hostage, while claiming that he is only theirs. They took a brown-skinned Jewish teacher from an occupied land, a man who lived under empire, who ate with outcasts, who confronted religious hypocrisy, who spoke of loving enemies, and they whitewashed him into a mascot of power. They turned a man executed by empire into a symbol of empire. Let me make this very clear. This is not merely a theological disagreement. This is spiritual distortion. White Christian nationalism is not Christianity expressed loudly, so let's leave the word Christian out of it. White nationalism is not simply values. It is a political ideology that fuses a Christian identity with an American identity centered on whiteness as normative and sanctifies power as a divine mandate. And it is rising. Religious extremism in many of our religious philosophies is rising. Pulitzer Prize winning historian John Meacham reminds us that religion in America has given us some of our finest hours and some of our worst. Religion fueled abolition, it fueled civil rights, it also defended slavery and segregation. I think anyone now, when watching the news, understands that religion is powerful. And it can be used for good, it can be used for evil. And power amplifies what is already in the human heart. Meacham says democracy depends on our ability to see one another as neighbors rather than adversaries. If we fail at that, democracy collapses. This is divide and conquer. White nationalism depends on seeing you as my enemy, focusing on the things that we don't have in common instead of the many things that we do have in common. And going back to last week, it depends on that one thing, fear. Fear of losing dominance. And fear seeks relief through control. I'm going to be bringing up a couple of different names today. Amanda Tyler, Executive Director of the Baptist Joint Committee for Religious Liberty, says that white nationalism harms Christianity because it distorts it. It harms democracy because it undermines pluralism. And it harms religious liberty because when one religion captures the state, all others lose protection. In the next couple of weeks, I'll be doing a sermon on the separation of church and hate, John Fugelsang's new book. I encourage you to get it. It's brilliant, and he can actually give some humor about it so that you get through the book with some hope. So white nationalism does not defend faith. It just turns it into a weapon. And we've seen Texas State Representative James Tallarico on YouTube, not on CBS, which actually turned into the most popular interview that Stephen Colbert has done. So thank you to Brandon Carr for making that louder. That's the FCC chairman, by the way. So Tallarico is also studying for ordained ministry. I don't know if you knew that he is in seminary, and names this from inside the political arena. He's fought legislation requiring the Ten Commandments in every public classroom. He has opposed replacing trained counselors with religious chaplains. There's a difference between religious chaplains and spiritual chaplains. He has challenged efforts to teach Bible stories as state-endorsed history, and when he explains why, he does not begin with partisan language because he knows that's not going to work. He imagines children. The Jewish child, the Muslim child, the Hindu child, the Sikh child, the atheist child. What does it mean, he asks, to walk into a classroom where one religion is elevated above every other? And I agree with him. That is not loving your neighbor. Bishop Michael Curry, presiding bishop of the Episcopal Church, speaks from within his faith when he says he wants to reclaim authentic Christianity. In his belief, God is love, period. And he points to the New Testament, so you can't love the God you cannot see if you don't love your sibling that you can see. From that theological conviction flows a test. If your faith does not lead you to love your neighbor, especially when it's hard, especially when your neighbor is different, it has departed from its source. January 6th revealed what happens when that discipline collapses. The Buddhist Coalition for Democracy speaks from another tradition entirely. They name, as our values do, interconnectedness, compassion, loving kindness. They name what they are witnessing: the politicization of the Justice Department, defiance of court orders, attacks on academic freedom, deportations without due process, persecution of our trans siblings, and the consolidation of oligarchic power. They resolve to resist autocracy while maintaining right speech, and here we go, non-violence. But make no mistake, nonviolence is not passive. It is the hardest thing that we can do right now. I'm surprised my TV screen doesn't have breaks in it from wanting to throw things at it all the time. We do have that anger, right? And that is our human nature to get mad, but our spiritual nature is to not take the easy way, but to love our way, not around it, not above it, not below it, but through it. And that is not easy. It is disciplined moral courage. White nationalism narrows the circle, democratic spirituality widens it. It requires what we were talking about earlier: listening, humility, shared responsibility. And friends, this is where our UU faith becomes more than an identity. It becomes a practice. And it's a practice that doesn't ever make perfect. I wish it did. We're not perfect. So that means every single day we have to get up and look at those values and say, this is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to choose. Because, as you use, we affirm the inherent worth and dignity of everyone. Not only people who vote like us, not only people who worship like us, not only people who look like us, every single person. What does that look like? It looks like justice and equity and compassion and empathy. Those words are looked at as weakness right now, but they are our superpowers. We accept one another and encourage spiritual growth. We affirm the goal of building a world community. We affirm this interdependent web, as the Buddhists do, of all existence. So when one religion seeks to dominate the state, pluralism erodes. And when that erodes, our congregation and many others lose the civic structure that protects our freedom. So, because we are people of peace, we have to say something else out loud right now in a world that keeps tempting us, at least for me, towards hatred, because that's the human way to go. We hold the people, not the governments, not the propaganda, not the stereotypes, but the people of every country caught in fear and escalation in our hearts. We hold the people of the United States, so often tempted by panic and grievance, so often manipulated into seeing neighbors as threats every day on the news, so often exhausted and hungry for something sturdy and true. We hold the people in the Middle East, those who long for safety, those carrying the weight of history and trauma, those who want their children to sleep without sirens. We hold the people of Iran, those living under pressure and punishment, those caught between regimes and retaliation, those who have lived for 47 years under terrible rule. We can disagree and see what's going on at the same time. And that's really hard right now when we are being given so many ideas and so many things that we're supposed to be afraid of. Like Rachel Maddow said last night, go to the context. Look back at it. So if our religion means anything, it means we can hold all of this without turning any human being into an enemy. And this isn't sugar-coated spiritual nonsense. We can resist what is wrong without poisoning our souls. Jesus, whether one claims him as a savior, prophet, teacher, or historical figure, was executed by empire. He wasn't killed for maintaining power. He was killed for disrupting it. They may hijack his name. They may repaint his image using white paint. They may turn him into a banner for dominance, but they cannot change the story of radical love. And for those who don't center on Jesus as a faith, who hold wisdom from many sources, the truth still stands. As humans, authoritarianism always tries to steal our moral language and make it serve cruelty. That is why democracy is not just politics. It is spiritual formation. So we go back to last week's sermon on Marianne Williamson's A Return to Love. Are we going to let fear shape us? I remember using in meteorological terms when I was in front of the map, be prepared, not be scared. So what does this mean for us? Here's the invitation. Look at democracy as a spiritual discipline. Learn the names of your local school board members. What's happening right now is by design. from the ground up. Read one piece of legislation in your state every week. Show up at one civic meeting this year, which most everyone here has done that over and over. So I'm preaching to the choir. Support one organization protecting voting rights or due process. Have one conversation across difference without contempt. This is a big one. Verify before you amplify. There is so much online right now that we can't tell what is different or what is the same and what is true and what is not. Look for truth-telling organizations and look for fact checkers like Snopes.com. That's one of them. Check before you amplify. Refuse to dehumanize, even when you resist. And I want to add something concrete, because love that stays abstract is too easy. And our moment requires more than feelings. Call your congressmen and women. Not just when there's an election, not just when you're furious. Call and say, choose diplomacy. Call and say, protect civil rights and voting rights. Call and say, reject Christian nationalism and the abuse of religious power. Call and say, we choose peace, restraint, constitutionality, and accountability. We don't have to be policy experts to be moral witnesses. We only have to be consistent and be present. And while we act in the public sphere, we also practice love in the private sphere, sending loving energy to our neighbors, especially the ones who are frightened right now. Our Jewish neighbors afraid to go to temple yesterday. Our Iranian neighbors who worry that their families will become targets. The Muslim neighbor who braces for backlash. The immigrant neighbor who hears the rhetoric and feels their body tense. The queer neighbor who wonders what laws are coming. The teacher, the student, the elder, the anxious parent. Look someone in the eyes and tell them they matter. Offer a meal, offer a ride, offer a listening ear, offer solidarity. Because we cannot be people of fear. Fear is easy. It is human. It is contagious. Fear is marketable. Fear is politically useful. But fear is not faithful to our principles. We are called by UU values, by our highest ethics, by the best of our spiritual inheritance, to courageous and audacious love, to have the audacity to love. Not sentimental Hallmark love, not thoughts and prayers love. Love that is truth, that protects the vulnerable. Love that resists fascism. Love that refuses to dehumanize. So when we come here, let this be our gym, where we work our spiritual muscles to be refilled every Sunday so that we can go out there and do the work that is needed. But also let this place be a place where disagreement doesn't erase dignity. Let this be a place where courage and compassion move together. Don't merely agree to the sermon. Embodied democracy requires more than us agreeing with ourselves all the time. It requires us to participate. It requires humility. It requires courage. We choose a wider circle. We choose shared power. We choose disciplined love because there is a choice. And our spiritual giants are looking at us from the past. And our children in the future will be judging us on our actions. More importantly, on our inactions. Be tender, be brave, be organized, be loving, And let us be clearly, publicly, and persistently people of peace. May it be so.
At UCF, we embrace the possibility of a world filled with peace, acceptance, justice, love, and joy. By our financial commitment, we help this congregation through its maintenance, mission, and ministries make those possibilities real in a challenging world. A basket is being brought around the sanctuary, and there are payment options on the screen. Whatever you are able to give is received with gratitude. We thank you for your commitment and generosity.
So go now, not as spectators of history, but as participants in its shaping. Refuse the fear that narrows the circle. Refuse the certainty that hardens the heart. Refuse the domination that shrinks democracy. Stand where dignity stands. Speak where truth is needed. Show up where freedom is fragile. Let your courage be public. Let your compassion be stubborn. Let your democracy be practice. And go and widen circle. Mark? Take these words today more than just a rote that we do every Sunday, more than just the words on the screen. Take them to heart. We now extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts wherever we may go. And so we say together, Amen, Shalom, Salam, Namaste, and blessed be.
For our closing hymn, we'll be singing hymn number 1026, If Every Woman in the World. You may rise in mind, body, or spirit and join us in singing.
And then please join us afterward for food and fellowship.
Dream of peace, if every woman
Threw it up.